Wellness and Healing Space Solutions. And today I have with me a special guest, Nicole Jones. And Nicole, would you like to share about who you are and so forth?
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. It's great to be here on this rainy, Wednesday now in the Bay Area. So I am a journalist by trade turned marketer in the last few years, and now I just can't imagine any other way, but really storytelling is at the core of what I do, who I am, and combining that with some elements of gardening, which is how we met.
Yeah, Nicole and I met in the UC Alameda County Master Gardener Program, which we just graduated from this past weekend, and it was like... It was fun, but it was like we had to commit every Saturday for several months, and now our Saturdays are free. But I'm gonna miss seeing everybody every week. Honestly, it was really nice.
Yeah, we'll have to get together for definitely some happy hour and trowel.
For sure.
Digging.
I'm looking forward to that. And so I almost think of like gardening and cultivating the earth a lot of ways with storytelling and digital marketing. So I wanted to ask you what your journey has been like as with journalism and marketing, and how does that tie all into social impact? So whatever that means for you, do you want to share?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, just back to the storytelling part. I mean, that's really the core of why I got into journalism. It's funny, like with the gardening thing, kind of a full circle with me starting in horticulture in high school and really having a big love and desire for botany. Kind of started on that track in college, but quickly switched into communications and journalism, mostly as just a way to connect with people. Like I wanted a livelihood that was built on connecting with people and hearing stories and really finding out what motivates people. So lots of elements of psychology, of just human narratives, which we're all storytellers, and it's definitely a craft, though, considering all the different mediums and channels that we have now of how to craft a narrative, how to craft a story, especially in our era, with just so much noise coming at us all the time, so many distractions. Like, how do you really captivate people's attention in a very short amount of time? So storytelling has always been at the core. When I studied journalism in undergrad, investigative reporting was particularly something I really wanted to focus in, and did, just because I thought that was like the best way of getting issues out. That was the best way for me to contribute and deliver like my activism. And at that time, Iraq War, and I was going to college in Chicago. Of course, a lot of just issues around socioeconomic conditions and just extreme divide in the city, and wanting to get really down underneath what was happening with the economic situation at the time, the bank bailout, and so many properties that were being built and not being finished, that were owned by the bank, that were being bought by the bank, and at the same time, extreme rates of homelessness. So those two really went side by side, and did some stories with the aldermen in Chicago just to get at the root of what was kind of happening. And so, yeah, I mean, for me, it was really about storytelling as a mean for activism. That was my way to give back. And, people all have their ways of contributing, whether it's leading by example or, being out and protesting and marching. These are all valid ways, but for me, it was always about storytelling, getting the message out there. I love writing just naturally, but really started to play with different mediums, with video and radio. And then after college, I moved from Chicago to Oakland, and that was, now I've been here for almost 10 years, which is crazy to think. Yeah, it's been a minute. So I was a case manager actually right down the street here at St. Vincent de Paul.
Oh, okay.
Doing job reentry programs, so helping people who are just getting out of prison to like get their social security, get their driver's license, working on their cover letters and resumes, and just helping them find jobs. So this was 2009, so economic downturn, and it was just already a mess. But it's like especially for that population, we're really feeling the just maximum brunt of it. So from there, like the activism, the storytelling always came through. So I wanted to know where, what their story was and how they ended up here, and what did they see, what were their hopes and goals. And I think maybe what I did by helping to write a cover letter or resume is just really a small drop in the bucket. I think the biggest thing is just like hearing stories and sharing those stories with people. So I went to journalism school at Berkeley, and investigative was like my background. I worked in radio for a little while.
What was that like? Because I saw CBS was on your bio, so how was that connected to like developing stories, and like, do you have tips that you could share with small businesses and entrepreneurs about what it's like to develop a story that's captivating?
Yeah, absolutely. So I would say some big things to look at is, first, who's your audience? Always start with who's your audience, and what medium are you using? So who your audience is, how much time do you have to tell a story in the most effective way, and making sure you're only getting the goldest nuggets of information in there. And then also the medium, like for that audience, like what's going to be the most impactful. So, is it going to be a longer investigative written feature piece versus, like a 10-second video, which that's still storytelling. You can still do some very powerful stuff, right? It's just going to be a different outcome, because it's a different audience that you're reaching out to. So yeah, audience and medium, I would say, are always the most important things.
So for me, a lot of what I like to work with is people who have a focus on, wellness and health and fitness and, social impact. Mm-hmm. So if there was like a yoga teacher or Pilates teacher or chiropractor that was like, I want to attract a larger audience with a blog, what would you, or a blog or live stream video, like would you have some specific things that you would want them to do first to get them started? Because I think sometimes there's an overwhelm. It's like, well, I want to share this information, but then, and I've been to different websites where people are sharing a good story, but it's like, blogging was really big, like when the internet first kind of came along, but now with like Instagram and Pinterest and Twitter, like people, you kind of have to, like you said, you have to say what you need to say in like several sentences or a couple paragraphs, or you're going to lose the attention of people, which is, sad, but it's also good because you have to be precise.
Absolutely. And I think, so journalism's helped me a lot in marketing, but marketing's also helped me in just journalism and storytelling, and knowing who your target audience is. I think that's a place you always have to start. Yes, you should get content out there and write. You shouldn't have to get stuck in this whole like paralysis analysis and like, oh my gosh, like if I don't write the most perfect thing, I shouldn't write at all. Like, no, it's better just to start writing. But in that, you have to have a foundation and a core first of thinking about who is your audience and really personifying them. Like, make up 3 people that are your target audience, your target clients, let's say, that you really want to reach out to, and start to create a profile for them. What do they like to read? What are they going to be searching for to find your service? What kinds of things do they pay for? Start creating that. There's so many great online tools you can do, like persona mapping that you can find online, awesome templates. Start there. And then from there, you can start to create an editorial calendar. Now, this doesn't have to be overly complex and have like every single detail in there, but it's going to help you plan ahead and guide the kinds of content that you're putting out, so you're making sure you're hitting each of these points for your target persona. And you should stick to that plan. I would say like each quarter, like try that out for 3 months and then reevaluate and look back at your metrics and see how that performed. Do you need to change your keywords that you used? Did you get a lot of engagement on a certain post? So after you're planning ahead, always look back and see which content performed the best and why, and really do some, a lot of it is just kind of gut feeling of why it did well, or just qualitative, you got a really great comment or piece of feedback, but that's so important for guiding and moving the needle.
That was really juicy. Thanks. So, just wrapping up, what can you share more about what your personal marketing business is, and if you have any specials, or if you want to share with people like how they can get in touch with you, and possibly potentially use your services?
Yeah.
Share that information.
Yeah. So really, right now, I'm passionate about like social impact branding, and social impact, not just like public relations. I think public relations can sometimes be window dressing for these larger initiatives that organizations want to push, especially around philanthropy. So how can companies use their investment, and instead of maybe putting it in philanthropy, or in addition, how can you put that into a branding campaign that's really getting the public to empathize with your vision for the world? So like for my company, Kintone, for example, that's making teamwork better globally, and to create a world full of like democratized problem solvers that is really just changing the way we think about capital, and reinvesting that in organizations who are doing good in the world. So how can we do branding messages around that? So social impact and branding and like marketing, and how to combine those worlds so it's a win-win is what I specialize in and just love doing for companies. So you can reach out by going to my LinkedIn profile. Nicole M. Jones. I believe there's a lot of us. There's a lot of us out there. We're not all good. I've learned the hard way. Nicole Jones, Kintone, that's another way.
Okay.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much. And you guys can comment below, and I'll have this information up on SoundCloud and my YouTube page shortly. And thanks so much.
Thank
Take care, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Okay.